to put this on the website because we have such great information here to share. I would like to introduce the people who are speaking. First of all, we have Jamie Lum, who's our Branch Chief Business Development for TBED, in charge of the HiSTEP program. We have Reiko Rogers, who's the series ambassador for logistics and shipping. She's actually done this for many years for hundreds of companies, and so she's got great experience to share. Supporting us is Nikki Thompson from Ribbon Production. She'll be translating, interpreting, and then our guest speaker is Mayumi Yokozawa, TSC from Kyoto. Thank you so much for joining us. We will get started, and first off, we'll have Jamie to speak about HiSTEP. Why don't you go ahead, Jamie?
Aloha, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. Good to see so many people interested in this topic. As Lyle mentioned, I'm Jamie Lum, and I do oversee the HiSTEP program. And just to give you some sense of HiSTEP, I know that some of you may be already familiar with it, but it stands for Hawaii State Trade Expansion Program. It's primarily supported through a grant that we received from the Small Business Administration. And so the intent really is to get our Hawaii companies into the global marketplace. It's an export development program for Hawaii manufacturers and Hawaii service providers to be able to sell their Hawaii-made products and services internationally. There are 3 components. Well, let me take a step back. So while we oversee the program, we work with a lot of partners. And so you can see all the logos that we have on in that right side of the slide. Of course, the SBA, who is the funding agency. And then we work very closely with these organizations, and I'll elaborate a little bit more as to what some of their roles are a little later. But we do work with the Small Business Development Centers and the MINC Center and the Veterans Business Center, Hawaii Pacific Export Council, and Department of Agriculture, our Hawaii State Department, that also does some of the trade shows. So we couldn't put this program on all by ourselves. These partners all play a vital role in the success of this program. And so we do have 3 components of the program. The first is what we call our export readiness. This seminar here today, this webinar, is an example of the kinds of offerings that we do put on as part of the export readiness. And as the name suggests, it's just that. We want to offer information to companies, whether you're a new to export company or a company that has already been exporting and looking to expand. All companies are, no matter what your export experience, can participate in this program. So export readiness, we do training sessions. We normally do them at least 1 a month on various issues, such as today's on logistics and shipping. And sometimes we do sessions on specific markets, exporting to Japan, exporting to Taiwan, exporting to Australia, New Zealand, to give companies an idea of what the opportunities are, what the markets are like in that particular country for your particular product or service. So those are the training sessions. We also, when you register for HiSTEP, we assign you to one of our partner organizations, and then you schedule a one-on-one business advising session with our partners. And our partners, again, they play a vital role in really helping us to see where companies are at in in their export journey, if you will, and they help to make suggestions to companies as to what types of actions they may want to take to become more export ready. Perhaps some of the activities that are offered on HiSTEP through HiSTEP, or it might even be other types of things that maybe a business needs to look at before you may be ready for exporting. So they help to these sessions really help to see where your company is at in terms of exporting, and how HiSTEP or maybe other types of organizations or services could benefit you. The second component is what we call our market entry and expansion activities. These are trade shows, consumer shows, and then we also have, as part of this, some opportunities for online sales through e-commerce platforms. So for instance, I know many of you that have signed up today either are going to Hankyu Hawaiʻi Fair in July, or maybe have in the past, or maybe have an interest for the future. That would be one of the activities that fall into this category. I think the next slide might have, there we go, thank you, La. These are the shows, trade shows and consumer show that we have planned for 2024. Hankyu right now, Hawaiʻi Fair is the only direct-to-consumer show that we do. The other shows that you see listed there are trade shows, so a little bit different. But nonetheless, these are all intended to help you find distributors, find importers, find partners, find businesses that can help you to further sell your product. In this case, most of these are in the Japanese market, but as you can see, we have one that we're working with the Department of Ag in September, which is in Melbourne, which is the Fine Food Australia. So again, these are opportunities. What we do is we organize a Hawaii Pavilion, and we then go out and recruit companies to participate. And we're trying to make it affordable for companies. So we do charge a participation fee, but it's, I would say, maybe about a quarter of what it would cost if you went into one of these shows on your own. The other advantage is just being under the Hawaii brand and working with other Hawaii companies together really has a powerful branding and marketing message to people that attend the show. So I think those are the advantages to participating in some of these activities. And then you can go to the next slide, Lyle. The last component is our company assistance. This is where companies can actually apply for financial assistance to help support some of your export activities. We do this through an RFP process, and normally we issue the application in November, and it's due in July. I'm sorry, January. So you have 2 months basically to complete the application. Central to the application is an export plan. This is a competitive process just because we have limited funds directed towards this particular component. So we do have an evaluation committee that goes through and evaluates your application and your export plan and your budget, and then we select awardees. We have 2 categories. A new to export company can apply for a maximum of $5,000, and a market expansion company, a company that's a little bit more of an experienced exporter, can apply for up to $15,000. And then just it's not an exhaustive list that I'm going to give you, but some of the things that you can use the funding for are for trade shows, and they don't have to be trade shows that DBED or Department of Agriculture are sponsoring or organizing. They can be other trade shows that you feel are advantageous for your company and your product or service. They can be used for shipping, sample products to potential buyers, can be used for your website if you need to translate your website. If you're going to do e-commerce, it can help you set up e-commerce for international sales. It can help support digital marketing, any of the U.S. commercial services that they offer. So again, that's just an example or examples of the types of costs that a HiSTEP Company Assistance Award can be used for. And then if you are awarded, then you actually will pay upfront for the costs, and then you'll have to submit supporting documentation to us for reimbursement. So that's the way the program works. Next slide. So that's kind of in a nutshell what HiSTEP is. If there's our website there, Invest.Hawaii.Gov. If you go under the exporting tab, you see the information on HiSTEP. Where do you start? We ask the first thing that you would do is complete the online registration form. Again, it just it's not we don't reject anybody from HiSTEP. Really, what we're trying to do is just get a good amount of information about your company and where, what markets you're interested in, and if whether or not you are new to export or you've been exporting, and just those kinds of that type of information. Next slide, Lyle. And this just kind of shows you the process. Once you register, then as I mentioned, we will assign you to one of our partners for a business advising session. And then from there, you know, you may want to participate in the activities that we have planned, like some of the trade shows or Hankyu, or you may decide you want to apply for company assistance. And then, of course, there are, you know, other types of things you could do outside of HiSTEP that would help your exporting. But in the context of HiSTEP, this kind of lays out what the process is. And so, again, thank you for joining us today. And if you have any questions about the program, please feel free to reach out to me or to Lyle, and we're happy to help you. Mahalo.
Hey, thank you very much, Jamie. So all the information is here, Invest.Hawaii.Gov. Look for exporting, and that will be the place to get started. I apologize, I forgot to mention Q&A. We have received a lot of questions, so thank you for your registration of that. But we would like you to please, in the bottom of your screen, there's a bug that's flying around. Please input in Q&A your question, and then we'll be taking them in the order that they're queued up, and then at the end of the session. What we're trying to do is compile all the questions and get a frequently asked questions listing online that we'll be putting on the website. So this is the very first start. We've started with a webinar. This is a second webinar. We do have a third one on May 8th. Be sure to sign up for that, but we're going to compile these things. We're planning to do the FAQ, and eventually we'll be getting a survey out to everyone to really start gathering information from you on your challenges and really working on possible solutions and all. So without further ado, we introduce Reiko Rogers to start off again, recapping a little bit of what we did last week. But I'll hand it over to you, Reiko-san. Dozo.
ありがとうございます。Aloha, everybody. My name is Reiko T. Rogers. Thank you so much for joining today. And Lyle-san, Jamie-san, thank you so much for involving in this HiSTEP webinar program. So actually, we started the webinar featuring logistics and shipment. This is kind of difficulty, but if you run this one, not so difficult. That's why we started this webinar 2 weeks ago. So first of all, I want to introduce by myself. So my name is Reiko T. Rogers. I started my business career as to work importing flower company in Japan. So my boss sent me to Holland to ship from Holland to Japan 2 times a week. So this is my start to the business. But after then, I moved to Hawaii 2000 and start to the broadcasting weekly radio show from Hawaii to Japan. So now I have 4 radio show DJ. So usually kind of recruiting because I'm working for Hankyu Hawaiʻi Fair since 2016. So that's why I kind of seeker to look for the good things too for Japanese people. And first of all, I really ask you, hey, you want to be my radio show? So because I really know the product is quality is good. So, but I really want to know the story behind the product. So that's why I have radio interview. And after then it's good. I really looking for the importer to connect to the importer and your guys, shipper, kind of made in Hawaii product people. So, and actually, so that, Reiko always cruising on the social network, Facebook and Instagram, Twitter. So if you have a time, please check me. And next, please. はい、ここからは日本語で話します。Actually, I'm radio DJ. I'm talk in my radio show, even English. But kind of this one very really difficult things too. That's why I really need a native speaker, Nikki Thompson. なので、お手伝いいただきます。まずですね、ロジスティックに必要なのは、皆さん、シッパー、それからインポーターです。
So as you can tell, that the most important thing is that you need a shipper and importer when you come to the exporting your product.
日本で物を売るときは、皆さんがトレードショーに参加するときにみたいに自分でトランクに詰めて持っていくということはできません。きちんとした法律を踏まなければいけません。
So if you like to sell your products in Japan, it is not as simple as putting your product into your suitcase and bring it over. You have to obey the laws that being put forth.
そして日本には素晴らしいシステムがあって、日本オートメイトカーゴ&ポートコンソリデイティドシステムというのがあって、皆さんのプロダクトをこのウェブサイトに行くと、どんなカテゴリーのものになるか、それからどういうシップメントの準備が必要か、つまり法律的なことかですね、そういうことが書いてあります。
So if you access to this website highlighted at the bottom of the screen, NACCS, Nippon Automated Cargo and Port Consolidated System, it'll guide you through what kind of category your product will fall into, and also what kind of preparation before you start shipping your product to. So this is very important that you check it out.
先ほど話しましたように、映画の、シーンにも必ず主演、助演、役割分担があります。皆さんがメイドインハワイのプロダクトを作る主演だったらば、助演は日本のインポーターです。
So as if you are making a movie, there's the director and also the main character, the lead actor, which will be you as a made in Hawaii product producer. But you need supporting actors like importers who will help you to make the whole movie success.
はい、ネクストお願いします。ライさん、ネクスト。で、そこで必要になるのが、日本のインポーターが何をしなければいけないかということです。海を越えて渡る荷物に関しては、さまざまな法律をクリアしないと、日本のコンシューマーまで行きません。
So these are the kind of things that you really need to pay attention to. The importers would need many kinds of information, and then also have to align with the international trade laws.
先ほど話したように、助演と主演の、俳優さんたちは一緒に一つのストーリーを作ります。と言った理由がここに意味があるんですけども、日本のインポーターが、皆さんの荷物を日本に入れるときに様々にクリアしなきゃいけないものがあるんです。で、その時に日本のインポーターがそのフォームにフィルアウトするために皆さんにいろいろ情報を聞くことがあります。
So as I said earlier, to make the story a successful production with the main actor and then the supporting actor, you are going to become one helping the cohesive team. So when the Japanese importers need to fill out the forms in order for your product to come into Japan, and then you need to cooperate with them with the accurate information.
これから法律の話をしますけれども、この法律のフォームにフィルアウトしてアプリケーションをするために、日本のインポーターがいろんなことを聞きます。例えば、イングレジエント、マニュファクチャーのプロセス、こういったものを、コンフィデンシャルだからといって教えないよっていうのは全然先に進まないので、これをスムーズにやることによって、早くこういったもの、アプリケーションが通って、日本への輸入がスタートします。
So for the importer to fill out the application form that they need to submit, it'll ask, for example, ingredients or how the manufacturing process is. We understand that some of them are very confidential when it comes to the manufacturing process. However, with the accurate and concise information provided to the importer, that actually leads to a speedy process and a successful export for your side.
法律の話をします。まず、食品衛生法、これが今日参加されている方には、すべての方に当てはまると思いますが、どんなものが当てはまるかというと、フード、それから飲み物、それからテーブルウェア、それからクッキングウェア、フードラッピング、そして、子供用のおもちゃ、それからコンテーナー、フードコンテーナーなどが入ります。
So most of you needs to know about this food sanitation law, and that actually includes not only the food product, but beverage, tableware, cookingware, food wrapping and containers, as well as infant toys.
そして、私がこれ最もよく知ってるんですが、検疫法があります。これはすべての植物、例えば植物だけではなくて、種、それから野菜、フレッシュフラワー、成果、それから果実、木、木製品、それから、豆製品ですね。これは、ハワイで検疫を、ハノル空港に検疫所があるんですが、その検疫をして、検疫の、OK を、アクセプトをもらった上で、それをつけて、日本に持って行って、もう一度日本の空港で、この、チェックをします。
So I'm actually most familiar with this Plant Protection Act. However, that also includes not only the seedling, but the bulbs, seeds, vegetables, fresh fruits, fresh flowers, woods, grains, and beans. So you will actually need to go through the quarantine here in Honolulu before you send the product out to Japan. And once that the product reaches to Japan, you have to go through again in the Japanese system.
ですからマウイのゴールドパイナップルが空港に売られているのは、これ日本に持って帰れますよって書いてあるのは、その検疫済みのパイナップルであるということです。
So, for example, if you go through the TSA gate and then into the shop area inside the gate, there is a Maui gold pineapple ready for shipping to Japan. So that means that particular product has gone through the quarantine and then it is okay to be brought into Japan.
そして続いては薬事法なんですが、これに当てはまるものは、サプリメント、それから化粧品、それから、いわゆる液体製品ですね、パフュームなども入ります。
So the pharmaceutical affairs law will actually include not only the supplements, but also the perfumes too.
それから続いては家畜伝染病予防法というのは、いわゆる、肉の加工品です。ソーセージや、ハムなど関係しています。
So the animal infectious disease control law includes not only the meat, but the meat products, for example, sausages and hams.
それからこれはかなりちょっと難しい法律なんですけれども、酒税法というのがあります。これはアルコールの度数のパーセンテージ、それからいわゆる作り方ですね、製法、マニュファクチャーのスタイルによって変わってきます。ですから、ちょっとここに書きましたけど、蒸留酒、それから醸造酒、それから、ビールなどによっても、麦芽酒によっても全部違います。
So this is the most difficult one to kind of follow, the liquor tax law. ask for the percentage of alcohol degree and also how the product has been manufactured and styled. So there are distinctive difference between the distilled liquor, brewed liquor, and also mixed liquor and any other type.
これらの法律を皆さんに勉強してくださいと言いません。ただ、日本のインポーターが皆さんに質問をしてきたときは、速やかにちゃんと、適当に作ってますではなくて、きちんと製法や、それからそのパーセンテージなど割合など、速やかにお伝えください。
So you're not required to know all those details and then study the law itself. However, the Japanese importer who will be assisting you will be asking all kinds of questions, and then you need to disclose how the product being made accurately, and also how much of the percentage of products and ingredients that are made of.
では次のページお願いします。Next page, please. そしてインポーターの方々がいる場合の話をしましたけども、インポーターが現在のところいないという方のために、これからどうやったらその日本のインポーターの皆さんにリーチできるかという話の私のアイディア、これはラジオ、メディアを通じたマーケティングによって、考えたアイディアです。
So if you already have an importer, you probably don't have to worry about that. But the most popular question and the concerns that they shared with us was, how to actually get to know the importers. So I'm trying to explain it to you that this is my idea through the media use or the marketing strategy.
まず先ほどジェイミーさんが話されてましたハイステップのプログラムにはいくつか日本でリーチできることがあります。フーデックスジャパン3月、それから東京ギフトショー9月、ハンキューハワイフェア7月。
So as Jamie introduced you to the HiSTEP programs, that there are existing and then continuing product shows that's already scheduled. So for example, FoodX in Japan is scheduled in March, Tokyo Gift Show is coming up in September, and Hankyu Fair is of course every July.
So Rai-san, could you talk about briefly how they can reach to the importer in those events?
Yes, thank you very much. So the trade event, FoodX Japan, is actually the largest food-related show in Asia. It attracts tons of buyers from all over Japan. And we have recently been working together with the Department of Agriculture to have a Hawaii pavilion. So it's very popular, also connected, maybe not directly connected, but in the same place as the US pavilion. So that is a trade event. Another trade event is the Tokyo Gift Show, Tokyo International Gift Show in September. And those trade shows are for the purpose of finding importers, finding distribution, different channels, and really expanding your business exporting. The Hankyu Hawaiʻi Fair, because it's a consumer show, you're not really meant to do B2B business. That being said, because it is the largest Hawaii fair, the most best organized Hawaii-themed fair in Japan, it is well known by buyers, and you actually may be contacted in person by buyers. You definitely see people coming to visit. They watch the show. They see all your products. If you have a big line in front of your booth, they may come on and talk to you and say, I'm an importer, I would love to work with you, and et cetera, et cetera. So these are opportunities to, when you're in the country, to actually meet companies to be importers. Definitely, you want to validate them, you want to check them out. You have Reiko-san, you have myself, you have other people that you can talk to see if they're the right importer for you, because as a Hawaii company, as a brand, you will definitely attract a lot of attention. You want to make sure that you have the right partner that is going to support your efforts.
ありがとうございます。Thank you so much, ラルさん。これから話す、事柄に関しては B2C のように コンシューマー対象に見えるかもしれませんが、実はコンシューマー、インポーターもコンシューマーですので、そこにいっぱい、潜んでます。たくさんのインポーターからこういうところに行ったという方も話を聞いてますので、それで皆さんに情報をシェアしたいと思います。
So what I'm going to explain to you seem to be the B2C, business to consumer type of connection. However, the importers themselves are consumers, and then they will visit the places in Hawaii when they come to Hawaii. And these are the kind of stories that I hear from them.
ハワイにはたくさんのファーマーズマーケットがありますが、大体インポーターが行きましょうと言っていくのが、土曜日の KCC ファーマーズマーケット、そして同じ土曜日にあるカカアコファーマーズマーケット、これは必ず抑えられています。
So what I usually hear that the importers say, hey, let's go to the farmers market in Hawaii. They definitely go to both KCC and Kakako farmers markets, which are both scheduled on Saturdays.
そしてスーパーマーケットイベントにも興味を持っていらっしゃいます。大体こちらに行かれて商品をチェックします。ここに書いているのはワイキーマーケット。これは、フードパントリーが新しくイノベーションをしてできたマーケット。そしてフードファームス、アラモアナ。フードランドはハワイ州に32店舗がありますが、そんなみんな素晴らしい、全部のところには行きません。大体行くのはこのワイキーマーケット、フードランド、ファームス、アラモアナ。そして、ホールフーズ、クイーンズのホールフーズに大体インポーターは出かけていって、どんなものが売れているか、どんなものがあるのかという商品をチェックしています。
So those importers love to go to supermarkets for checking out what kind of products are actually popular in Hawaii. So as you know, the Waikiki market is a former food pantry. And of course, the Foodland Farms at La Mana is done by Foodland. And even though the Foodland itself has 32 locations in Hawaii, they're not really visiting all the locations. But of course, because of the location, the Alamana Foodland Farms is one of the very popular one. Another one would be the Whole Foods Market on Queen Street.
そこで大体やってらっしゃるのは、写真を撮ったり、それから実際買って自分たちでテイストを試してみたりとか、そういったことをされています。
So what they're actually doing in the store will be taking pictures of those products that they've been sold. They purchase it and then try it themselves and then have a taste testing too.
それからこれも実際あった話なんですけど、ご紹介したいと思います。レストランやシェフとのコラボレーションで、皆さんが自分の商品をアピールすることができます。
So this has actually happened in the past too. So I'm sharing it with you that you can actually collaborate with the local restaurants and or chefs and then try to appeal to the importers who will be in Hawaii.
例えば、シェラトンワイキキのエッジワイキキと、それからモファイアで出しているアサイボール。このアサイボールのメニューには、きちんとメニューのイングレジェント書いてあるんですけど、商品名、マノアハニーって書いてあるんですね。そうしますと、Hey, レイコ、マノアハニーってそんなに有名なの？ちょっとマノアハニーのメーカーに紹介してくれよと連絡が来ます。インポーターから。
So for example, at the edge of Waikiki and then also Runfire, both in Sheraton Waikiki, has the menu, and they actually list the ingredients of what they are serving to the customers. And then there was a Manoa honey listed, and those importers found out about it and then called me up and I say, hey, Reiko, did you know about this product? And can you introduce me to the Manoa honey folks?
同じように、例えば、最近パンデミックの後に、イベントが行われていますけれども、例えば、ルアウ省でワイキマリオットホテルで開催されているファイナワイキキ、ここでカクテルメニューがあるんですけど、これもすごくいいアピールだなと思ったんですが、ウーバーエっていうちょっとユニークな名前のカクテルのところに、ちゃんとメーカーですね、固有名詞が書いてありました。コーラウ蒸留所、オールドパリロード、ハワイアンウイスキー。これがすごくフィーチャーされていたので、実際やっぱりこれを見た人は、帰り買って帰ろうかと言われたインポーターさんもいらっしゃいました。
So It was actually after COVID-19 pandemic, but at the luau show in Waikiki Marriott called the Paina Waikiki, and then there was a cocktail named Ube, and that also listed not only the ingredients but the manufacturer of the whiskey itself. So as it says, the Ko'olau distiller, Old Pally Road Hawaiian whiskey. So they actually found out about it. They say, hey, we can probably purchase and take it home.
まあ実際私はこういったコーディネーターもやってますけども、実際私も飲んで買って美味しいと思ったので、これはラジオでもご紹介してしました。ラジオでご紹介すると、聞いてるリスナーはインポーターの方もいらっしゃるんで、またその方が聞いて、まあ、連鎖ですね、チェーンになってますけども、これに興味を持っていらっしゃる方もいらっしゃいました。
So I work as a coordinator of those kind of things too, but also I'm myself a consumer, so that I tried it, I liked it, and then I introduced the product on air when I was on the show. And of course that any of the importers might be our listeners, and then they found out about it. So I am looking for this chain of reaction of the one local likes the product, and then the product would be introduced, and then the Japanese, hopefully the importers will find out about the new product.
それから、ナホーラスパというのがハイアットリージェンシーワイキキビーチリゾート&スパにあるんですね。ハイアットリージェンシーワイキにあるんですが、そこで、まあ、これパンデミックの前なんですけど、リラクシングラウンジにお茶を置いてあったんです。それは、キヘネママキティ。キヘネママキティ。これ、ラウラパーと言って、いわゆるハワイの、いわゆる薬草を煎じて飲む。これとてもママキティというのがポピュラーですが、キヘネさんが作っているママキティというお茶を出したんですね。実際出してました、ラウンジで。で、これをやっぱり飲まれた、日本のスパの方がですね、これはいいなと言って、やっぱりいいなということで、どこで売ってんのって聞かれて、KCC ファーマーズマーケットでありますよということを話しましたら、買って帰られた方がいらっしゃいます。これはスパのオーナーでした。
So it was the pre-COVID time, but at the Hyatt Regency Waikiki, there was a Ho'ola spa, and then their relaxing lounge was serving a tea. It was a makiki tea done by Kihene Makiki, and then as you know, it's the part of the Lao Lapa'au, the Hawaiian medicine. So the customer who enjoyed the service at the spa, drank the tea, liked it, asked me where I can buy them. And then I introduced her to KCC to purchase it. And then it just so happened that the person who bought was the owner of a spa in Japan.
Thank you, Nikki さん。Thank you so much. This is kind of one example でした。さて、今日は皆さんにあるインポーターをご紹介したいと思います。I want to introduce an importer. I call her Seeker because she came here Hawaii 3 times a year and she's looking for something new one too. And also she already imported several brands from Hawaii to Japan too, and also cheese distributor. So I want to introduce her, Mayumi Yokozawa さん。よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me today. I would like to talk about myself a little bit. I'm an importer distributor based in Kyoto, Japan. My company name is TSC Corporation. We're doing business as Things Hawaiian Kyoto. I've been working with Hankyu Department Store for their Hawaii Fair for about 7 years now. I help mainly food vendors like tea vendors, coffee, jam butter, and matcha drink vendors. Also, since last year, we're bringing in a local hamburger shop too, to the fair. And I've also helped Foodex Japan, held in March, and the Tokyo International Gift Show in December as well, September as well. Today, I would like to talk about the steps of importing food items to give you an idea of what needs to be prepared and done to sell your products in Japan. Okay, so ingredients and production flow chart. To import food items to Japan, it's required to provide every single ingredient information, including additives, preservatives, and country of origin. If your ingredients are locally grown or made, country of origin will be made in USA. However, if you use any packaged ingredients, like for example, chocolate chips used in cookies, if you get them from like a supplier or Costco or Chef Zone, please confirm the country of origin on the back label. And yes, and there are some prohibited ingredients in Japan, so it is very important that you provide your complete detailed list for review. Production flow is also important. Some of you may not want to give this information due to business confidentiality, but this is required by the Japanese government to receive the approval of Food Import Notification Certificate. And also photos of product front and back labels are required when submitting ingredients production flow paperwork. And for jams and cookies, snacks, canned beverage, processed food, we need the nutrition fact information also. So please have that ready as well. I think this ingredients and production flow chart is the most important part for both vendors and importers. We cannot import any kind of food items without doing this. Vendors must provide every single ingredient used in your products, including additives, preservatives, with the percentage breakdown. The ingredient list must be exactly the same as shown on your product label, and sometimes need to be more specific. For example, next slide, please. I made a little sample of ingredients chart. It doesn't have to look exactly like this, but it's just an example. But say so I need your product name and all the ingredients and the percentage breakdown. And if you look at two product name, there's some additives in the parentheses. This one, these additives are usually they're in like purees or dressings or mustard. For each additives and preservatives, I need to know the specific name of that ingredient of the additives or preservatives. And some examples of prohibited additives: antioxidant, like OG, TBHQ, HMBP, DG. These are used for various purposes in food processing to extend shelf life or add flavors. And there's also another prohibited additives, cyclamic acid. It's just an example, but it's an artificial sweetener. This one is prohibited too. And other prohibited ones like food colors, like orange, kilo line yellow, patent blue, fast red E, brilliant black, and so on. There's a lot of prohibited color additives as well, so please be careful about that. And so please include every single ingredient, and this must be the same ingredients on the product label. If the list, if your ingredient list and labels don't match, we have to start all over again. So it's really important. Okay. And at the bottom, I wrote a little bit of the production process. Even though it's like a simple process, please be as specific as possible. We need this information too to complete the ingredients chart. Okay, next slide, please. And here we have the procedure, the import procedure, how it goes. Number one, preparation of documents for import notification. This is where we you have to get your ingredients chart and your production flow chart ready, and photos of your product, photos of the labels, and everything that needs to be on the notification form to import. And then after you provide all that information, you ship out your products. And then number two, submission of a notification form for importation of foods. This is when we actually turn in the paperwork. And number three, document examination. And they check my paperwork if everything is okay. All the ingredients or production flow is okay. And they check the where it's from, your company information and everything. And then after that, they decide if inspection is required, not just monitoring is okay, or food inspection. And then if they're not necessary, like food items like coffee, tea, I think it's not necessary to for any inspection. So you skip the monitoring and food inspection and then go to number 4. And they issue a certificate of notification if everything is okay. And then after that, we get the certificate, and then I turn in the certificate to customs, and then they check again, and then we pay all the customs tax and everything, and then customs clearance, and then we finally receive your product. So this is how it goes. And usually it takes about I would say a month for this to complete. Yes, and for all the items that needed inspection, if your product was rejected, we cannot receive it. So it's going to be shipped back to Hawaii. So please be careful with your ingredients. Okay. So this was the procedure to import. Okay. Next slide, please. Page 19. This is an example for Hankyu Hawaiʻi Fair. What we actually do and what the vendors have to do. So it usually takes about 7 months, about 6 to 7 months to prepare. So the Hankyu Hawaiʻi Fair is held in July, mid-July. So us importers, around December, we go to Hawaii and have meetings with vendors that are interested in joining the fair. And then January, February, Hankyu makes the final decision of participating vendors. And then for the vendors, around that time, we need the ingredients chart and production flow chart ready, everything ready. And then March, April, we have to have all paperwork ready for Hankyu, and the photos as well. And for the vendors, at the same time, we need you to provide your logo, photos, And photo shooting in Hawaii will be held as well in April. We just had that last week, I think. It's still going on this week, I think. And end of April will be the deadline of all paperwork, the ingredients, the prices, nutrition fact, photos of products, everything. And in May, it'll be our deadline for all paperwork. The product list, allergen list, contract, price labels, nutrition fact labels, photos, booth layout, equipment list, name of workers attending the fair. And at that time, all booth layouts and menus will be finalized. And for you vendors, end of May to first week of June will be the deadline of all shipments of products for food items. And for food items and first-time vendors, deadline will be mid-May since we need time for food inspection and customs clearance. We can only receive the products after the approval of food import notification certificate. So it takes time. So we need your cooperation. Yeah, so this is how it'll be like to join the Hawaii Fair. Okay, and next slide, please. I wrote down the review of selling food products in Japan, paperwork from vendors, ingredients chart, production flow chart, nutrition fact, brand logo, product photos, front and back. Please provide all information about 3 months before the actual shipment. This is very important. And products that use additives might need to have food inspection, which will take about 1 to 2 weeks or maybe more if it's your first time. And any product with prohibited ingredients will be discarded or shipped back to Hawaii. Yes, so yeah, this is about it from me. Lyle-san.
Great. Thank you so much, Mayumi-san. We have some questions, and Reiko-san is answering actually all of them. But there are a couple of questions I want to address because I think the whole audience would be very interested. So first question is from Douglas. How can I get my geisha coffee, Kona coffee into the Hankyu Fair? It's a award-winning coffee, et cetera, et cetera. So Hankyu for us, and if you haven't heard this, if you hadn't heard this, I'm sorry for repeating, but the Hankyu Fair is really one of the first steps to getting into Japan. The reason why is because it has thousands of consumers who know Hawaii, they love Hawaii, and they expect authentic made in Hawaii products. These products are food, packaged food. Sometimes it's like Mayumi-san was saying, hamburgers. It could be plate lunches, right ingredients, coffee, beverages, even distilled alcohol and all that. So it's a wide range of products, and it gives you a chance to really validate your product for the Japanese consumer. Is your product matching? And meaning that, right, all the 4 Ps, right? Is the right price? Is the right size? Packaging? What is the benefit of your product? Yeah. Hankyu is well known. They've been doing this for 50 plus years, over 5 decades of world fairs of all kinds. And so they know that they can they have this huge hall to market the products, they promote it, they present the products in as authentic as possible. And they really promote that this is what locals like. Yeah. So Japanese consumers are looking for, what locals are consuming, and Hankyu tries to provide, first time to Japan or first time to Osaka, right? And really making it the best product in category. So if you think about trucker hats, or you think about t-shirts, or you think about malasadas, what is the first name that comes to mind? So you have to have a really long sales record. Like you have to be the best selling. right? You have to be the most popular. You have to be selling in Hawaii before you even get to be considered by Hankyu. Okay, so you can present your products. You say, hey, I have the best product. Hankyu team will look at it. Of course, first of all, Reiko-san will know it already because she's constantly looking. She's always looking. She knows all the newest products, the latest things. You have importers like Mayumi-san who are there, right? And everyone is kind of understanding things. So you have to be out there selling. You have to be promoting online through social media, and ultimately, I think ultimately, if you sell a lot, then that's going to be a huge factor. And definitely, you contact myself for DBED, contact Reiko as the coordinator. She is the official coordinator for Hankyu based in Hawaii, and she is really kind of directing and helping companies as well to get to that point. So we do have many opportunities to work with companies, right? We have all the HiSTEP program there, and it could be a cycle. It could be like right now, like we're just talking about. Mayumi-san said we're wrapping up, preparing for July, right? It takes at least a year, if not longer, for your product to be considered. And so, if you are interested, go to the website and register for HiSTEP. Fill out the interest form for next year and get into the mix of the conversation. If you have what it takes, we would like to present you to the team. The next round, if you will, for 2025 is going to start around early November. Yeah, that's when the Hankyu team representatives will be visiting Hawaii. But before then, we will be, Reiko and I are working on our list, talking to importers. And it's like as soon as July 15, July 16, right, the day after the 2024 fair, we're already starting, yeah, for next year. So it's a constant thing, but as best as you can, really demonstrate you're making money, you're selling product, yeah, you have high recognition among local shoppers. So I hope that answers your question. We can keep working on it. Let's keep talking. Okay. So yeah. So Akiko says, yeah, award-winning marmalades and all that. You have to be selling, Akiko. You have to be, you can be award-winning. That's fine, but you have to sell. You have to show that you can make in volume, right? You have to be able to produce to scale, because you need enough inventory to sell at Hankyu too. It's the opportunity is really 6 days. This year is actually 2 weeks. Whether you're going to be in both weeks or not, that's something that we're working on. But besides the fair, there's also online shopping. So you have to have the right scale to export. This is why we go back to when you register, we do consulting. Where are you now? What is your business setup? Are you ready to scale to export, right? Exporting is almost like a whole nother business of your entity. So you have to be committed to it. You got to be ready for it. You have to be, have the capability to do so. Going to Hankyu is just the first step. It's not even really exporting per se. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. And
ライさん、すみません。
Reiko-san, please go ahead.
はい。I think I'm talking about Malasadas. This is one of example. Malasadas, we cannot export Malasada from Hawaii to Japan. It's kind of very hard to. That's why we did the contract between Kaniwich Bakery in the island of Molokai and the Japanese maker, and they served in Japan. So this case is very similar with the Leonard's Malasada too. So now I know only 2 Malasadas in Japan from Hawaii recipe, Leonard's Malasada and also Kanimitsu Bakery Malasadas. So if you want to do Malasada to Japan, so you should appeal in Hawaii first, because the Japanese people really like reputation, so local favorites or something like that. And also jams, jellies, same things too. So Larry-san mentioned a little bit before. Also inventory needs too, if you do Hankyu Hawaiʻi Fair. So 2 weeks, maybe 7 days to 2 weeks, depends on the vendors, but you need it. So, but part of also, you have to do something deal in Hawaii somewhere, so to get the reputation.
And related to that, thank you, Reiko-san. Related to the programs that we have, answering Akiko's question about are there grants? Yes, we talked about the company assistance program. So if you look on the website, company assistance will, it's finished for this year, but it will start again. We offer the program, I think November we'll post. It's an RFP. We have to request your proposal. You have to apply as a proposal, say, this is my proposed export plan. And we have a committee that reviews it and really looking at your plan of attack. I have this product, it's been validated. Reiko-san was talking about importers going to farmers markets and retail and all that. Of course, we have Japanese visitors. They're not coming as much nowadays because of the very weak yen. But if you have some sort of demonstration of, I have Japanese visitors or Japanese people buying online. I have hundreds, I'm making thousands of dollars selling directly to Japanese consumers, and I have feedback from them and I say, this is what they like, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Those kinds of things are all part of your keys to success, right? And you can demonstrate to Hankyu, you can demonstrate to us as well. So when you apply for the company assistance, it is a demonstration through your export plan to say, I know what sells, I have a high chance of success, and you put that into a proposal format that we ask, and then you are evaluated by the committee, right? And so there's a new to export as well as market expansion. The details will be again published in November for the following January deadline. Okay.
That's very potential. Akiko-san,頑張ってください. Yeah.
There is one question about educational books. There is a process for that, but I think that's more about copyright. Reiko-san, do you want to address that question?
Douglas-san?
Would shipping educational books be the same process?
Shipping.
It's anonymous. I don't know who anonymous is.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I think yes, yes. I think good idea. Yeah, good idea. Educational books, but books is very heavy usually. That's why we should be smart to how to ship from Hawaii to Japan. So I recommend somebody to translate into Japanese first and make thinner and to print in Japan. So I received very similar question from somebody before. I advise them to translate into Japanese and make thinner to send to the data to print in Japan to sell. So this is my idea. I advise them to before.
Okay, and excuse me, I'm gonna connect that to the question from Cheryl, where asking about co-packers in Japan. And like Reiko-san was saying, that you do have bakeries that we do have some companies they license and they produce. It does, if you do not have a strong Made in Hawaii brand, or if your brand is not strong, I should say, then you are going to be at the mercy of that manufacturer, right? What is your direct to consumer relationship? How engaged are you with Japanese consumers that they know your brand and that they buy this because of your brand? Of course, taste is most important. Taste and do I like the packaging and quantity, all that kind of thing. But as far as our program is concerned, yes, we do not, it doesn't fit into exporting because we are, and this is because of the US SBA, Small Business Administration, focused on manufactured products, manufactured in Hawaii that are shipped to overseas, Japan and whatnot. So as a business, you should consider that because of the cost and the access to consumers, access to quality, things like that. However, that is going to be slightly different from the programs that we're talking about. You are, it's your business, so you have to find the right way. Just like Reiko was talking about licensing. Again, licensing is not covered by our program, so you need to decide what is the best business strategy for you to achieve your goals, right? In terms of educational books, the content is copyrighted, it's made in Hawaii, how it's sold and all that. Where it's printed, that could be questioned as well. So we need to look at these case by case to see how much we can support you because of our program's restrictions and constraints, okay? But again, these are great questions. We're trying to compile all the questions, especially the ones that were submitted from your registrations, to make an FAQ and to really look at logistics and shipping all together so that we can find a way to help you solve this really big challenge. We are over time, but thank you very much to Reiko-san, Mayumi-san, Nikki as well for your support, and for everyone to attend today. Make sure to sign up for May 8th if you haven't. May 8th is going to be the third one. We will have another importer as well then. We are very excited to be doing this, and so thank you very much for your participation and for all the questions. Please do send back your feedback. Later on, we'll be tying in surveys and to capture everyone's things. But until next time, aloha and ahui ho. Mahalo for your participation.
Thank you very much.